See if I still know how to do this. All right, I think we're good. Think so. That'll look cute. I don't think I've ever done it with this orientation on the video. We always do it vertical, but now we're gonna do it sideways. But we are just working on some wiring, doing some LEDs on a golf cart. Just wanted to give y'all a little check-in. I know a lot of y'all stuck around for the drama part of my life. That's done. I'm as chill as can be now, man. Just chill. And I know a lot of people don't care to know that. But for those of you that do, here I am. What's up, Ben? Kush, what's up? And I'm sorry to do this during the day. I know a lot of y'all are working, but I'm working too. So I kind of figured that people can, what's up, Andy? People can check in and watch this later. But yeah, I'm just doing some LED work. Andy, what's up, buddy? 12 people on here? I'm surprised. Ben, the clay shirt is fire. Man, I'm telling you, man, these shirts are awesome, man. They're from a local guy, good buddy of mine, FAFO. Fuck around and find out. But I'll post the link to them in the description after the video. If you want to order, it's like 20, 25 bucks, but they fit really well. They show off my little muscles, and they're really nice material. And you know the saying FAFO. James, what's up, buddy? He said, looking good, Beau. Man, I've been putting in a little bit of work lately. I'm about 3 weeks, going on 4 weeks, almost a month at the gym now. I'm feeling good. I still got a lot of weight to lose because I'm still like 260. I'd like to get around the 210 mark. So I've been dropping weight and putting on muscle, but it feels good to get back in the gym. I got a good workout partner. Clay's one of my workout partners. I got 2 of them. But it feels good to get back in there. I go every day at 11 o'clock. We usually work out for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, put in some work. And I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old. 43 now. I got to start taking better care of myself. You know, I got young kids, man. I got a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a little girl that just turned 4. So as they get older, I want their dad to be healthy. I don't want to be on death's door by the time my daughter graduates high school. You know, I want to take care of myself a little better. So I still eat bad. That's my downfall, man. I love good food. And good food is usually bad for you. If I could focus on that, my girlfriend, Ashley, she's been doing meal prep for me. You know, grilled chicken and rice, all that stuff. So she's been helping me out during lunchtime. But she cooks so good, man, and she makes some good fried foods. So it's hard for me to... But I figure, you know, as long as I go to the gym every day, even if I eat like crap, muscle's going to build. It's going to burn off a little bit of fat. I think I'm okay with having a little bit of a gut. I'm not going for a 6-pack. Be nice, but I'm a little old for that. But you go to the gym for 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. I don't care what you eat. You're going to stack on a little bit of muscle. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm putting in the work. So I try to talk myself out of it. Some days I'm like, man, I'm so busy at work. Or Reese! 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 That's my dog. Get over here. Reese! All right, I'm going to give y'all a quick shop tour real quick. Let's see. All right, first of all, that's my big guy there. Reese, what are you doing? Come here. What are you doing, big fella? He's a good boy. He listens most of the time. He doesn't realize how he looks, so he runs up on people. And he doesn't realize that he looks like a mean dog, but he's not. So he scares people a lot. Reese, what are you doing? But yeah, and Bruce Wayne's still alive and kicking. I see him every now and then when I go over there to drop off or pick up the kids, but he ended up staying with Christina after the custody thing. So I've got Reese. That's my new shop dog. I've had him probably 5 months now, and he's, I think, 14 months old. A buddy of mine sold him to me. He just didn't have enough time to spend with him. He worked in the oil field, so I ended up getting Reese, and he comes to the shop with me every day. All right, so we're currently working on a golf cart. I'm doing LED creations, green lights all over this thing. And then we have an audio build. I'm doing a bunch of speakers and lights. So this is a golf cart for a dealership. They sell these brand new. So they sent me this one, and I'm going to make it all nice and fancy with lights and sound. And then hopefully I get to do more. We have, I'm doing this on the flooring. So I'm doing that green and black diamond pattern. That's what they use for boats. But I'm going to do that on the flooring back here and in here. And I think I might line the inside of the roof, like in those grooves. I might go ahead and line that as well if I have enough material. I'm not sure, because that's a big roof. Had the seats redone to match the golf cart. And so yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Next up is this Outlander. I got to do a full sound system on it. Build a custom sub enclosure and speakers back here. Custom pods up here. LEDs, all that stuff. So those are the two projects in the shop. Yes, my shop is kind of small. This is about all I can fit in here at a time, but that's fine with me. Y'all know I got to have a TV, so I sit here and watch TV while I work. My Viper stool, y'all, those of you that remember me from last time I was in business, best stool ever made. My Milwaukee collection, I got to figure out where to put these. I think I'm going to build a shelf on the wall with those little hangers for each tool. This is the stuff that's going on that Outlander, all Fosgate stuff. Let's see what else. My roll around bench that goes everywhere. I've got a lot of nice tools now. I use all Harbor Freight tools besides the Milwaukee, but all matching Harbor Freight boxes. Even my roll around cart with my laptop. My CNC machine, I've got a bigger one now than I had last time. Nice dust collection system. But like I said, man, I'm a huge fan of the Icon tools. They're so cheap compared to, trucks, Matco, Snap-on, all that crap. But I love these Icon tools, man. They, like I said, they're so cheap, man. And they're lifetime warranty. I really do like it. I've got every wrench you could need in every configuration. All of it Icon line. Let's see. Screwdrivers, picks, mini screwdrivers. That's my drill bit drawer. Nothing in there. That's my air tools. Pry bars. These kind of got banged around when I moved last week. I moved to a new shop. Yes, I can probably get more space out of all this, but I got more space than I need in these boxes. So, nails for my nail gun. And then random screws and bolts. What's down here? I didn't even look. I don't know what that is. Nut drivers and wrenches. This box is the one I keep all my CNC stuff in. So I've got my... All right, those are nails. What's in this one? Router bits. Nothing really in that. Nothing really in that. See, I've got a lot of extra space, man, to build up my collection. My CNC, man, is by far my biggest money maker. I love this thing so much. This one's got an upgraded Masso touchscreen. I run an 80 millimeter water cooled spindle now. It used to be just a little Makita router, but I got a water cooled system. Got a blast cabinet for when I do LED rings. I want to make them opaque finish. Let me turn this bathroom light off. I do have a paint booth now, and I bought this 3M gun that everybody recommended to me. It has disposable tips, which makes it easier, but I've got an inflatable paint booth right down there that I haven't set up yet, but I'm going to do color matching on bumpers, mirrors, grills, stuff like that. So I will be offering that service. This is something I haven't even used yet. It's a gel coat and a chop gun system. So it's got a dual pump setup that I can move this side to side, put a 55-gallon drum or whatever on the back. And it's got a huge boom mast that swings out. And this intimidating ass gun here, which is the chop gun. So it shoots fiberglass through there and chops it up every inch or so, and then sprays the resin at the same time. So whatever you're spraying, I make molds. So it sprays in, then I use a roller, smooth it out, and it cuts fiberglass work time down to, minutes compared to hours. This is the same system that Malibu Boats uses to make, 30-foot ski boats. So this is a very expensive system. I haven't used it yet, mainly because of time. I just haven't had time. I'm a one-man show, but I will be using that soon. So I spent a lot of money on that because I had the money at the time, and I knew if I didn't buy this, I wouldn't buy it later. So that's my basic shop setup. And then, of course, I got all my materials over here. I've got sheets of the Xterra waterproof MDF. I've got sheets of acrylic. I've got it in 1/2 inch and 3/4. And yeah, that's it, man. I mean, it's just a simple little shop. Table saw, chop saw. Got my fridge over here. It's a small little workspace, but it's fairly cheap. I run a lot of the Sundown marine audio now. So that's what we're doing in the golf cart. I don't keep a huge amount of inventory because I don't want to tie up 30 grand in inventory, and I do kind of build stuff to order. So when I have a consultation with a customer and they tell me what they want, such as this golf cart, I go ahead and get the deposit, and then I order what they want to put in there, because I'm a dealer for several different brands, but I don't have 30 or 40 grand to put straight into inventory because I'm not open to the public. Like, I don't have a showroom, and it's all by appointment only. And that's what works out best for me. So, like I said, right now we are just doing some LED work. So my LEDs, I make sure all my connections, like I had to make a jumper here to go from one section of the golf cart to the other. This is to clear those front mounting poles. So I have to cut it down like this. I have to solder, use my solder gun, solder each joint. Then I have to make these connector pieces, which I tin those, and then now I will make a connection here. Then I'll sleeve it with the braided line and then the marine grade heat shrink, and I end up with a connection like that. So I like this stuff a lot more than plastic loom because it looks better. It flexes better. I mean, I can get a full flex on it, and it washes out. So if you get dirt or anything in there, because it is perforated, cleans out well. But I just like the cleaner look. I hate that plastic loom. So anyway, that's a shop tour for those of you that want to see it. A lot of y'all probably don't care, but oh, and this is my portable charger. Probably one of my favorite Milwaukee things. So that's why I use to charge my phone while I'm working, so I can carry it around with me. And when we go on trips or whatever, camping or at soccer games, I just load up a battery. I get USB-C, A, and a plug. So that's what I use to charge my phone when I'm moving around. Pretty cool. All right, I didn't read the comments that came through. Let's see. Let me plug this thing back in and go back for the comments. Sorry you are seeing such a close-up of my ugly mug. Let's see. Taylor said, "What's up, Beau?" What's up, Taylor? Dave said he thought I passed away. Come on, man. You know, life ain't gonna kick my ass like that, man. I always come back. But like I said, I'm slimming down a little bit, starting to get a little bit more form, a little bit more muscle tone. I still got some weight to lose, but I feel better about myself. My face is starting to slim, man. That's what bothered me the most when I look at pictures and see my fat ass face. Nothing worse than having a fat freaking face, man. So that's kind of what motivated me, man. And I've been growing my hair back out. Still got a full head of hair. I don't know how, as stressful as my life is. It's not thinning, it's not receding, but I've been growing it out. Y'all know I usually do that for a couple months and then I get tired of it and go back to short hair. Beau Knows Customs hat. I've got hats and shirts. I didn't wear one of my shirts today, but I got a really cool logo on my shirts. But yeah, this is one of my hats. I've got different styles of hats and all that, but yeah, we started all the way over, man. New company, new LLC, new business plan, new location. You know, after all of last year's craziness, you know, I was working. I came back home and I got a job for a local construction company running an excavator, you know, 25 bucks an hour, $1,000 a week, which was okay. But nowadays that really ain't shit, man. I mean, I was making more than that just in per diem alone in West Texas. And just going along day to day. And then Ashley, my girlfriend who I live with, we've been together for almost 8 months now. She was like, man, she looked through some of my old TikTok videos. She's like, why don't you do this anymore? She saw where I did my old LED lighting and my stereo and stuff. And she's like, that's freaking amazing. She's like, I don't even know anything about it. That's not my forte at all. She's in the medical field up at the hospital. She's like, but that's amazing. Why don't you do that again? And I was like, you don't realize how much I had invested money-wise, time-wise, equipment-wise. Because, you know, when I sold my business last year, I sold everything. I mean, down to my rolling stool, all my tools, everything. I sold it all. Whatever I couldn't fit in the back of my truck to leave was sold. I sold it all. And she's like, just do it. Like, she's like, I got your back. And so I had some money put away and dumped it all into this, every bit of it. Went all in. And I said, well, it'll probably be a few months from this. This was back in December. I said, it'll probably be a few months before I can contribute any money to the household. Because at that point, we're doing 50-50 split on everything. The house, all the utilities. You know, I was like, it might be a few months before I start making money. It's going to take me a month or two just to get set up, just to order everything I need, find a location. You know, it's tough. Even with money in your pocket, it's hard to figure out, plan everything down to the screwdrivers, for example. I mean, I had to go to Harbor Freight, spend like $5,000 at Harbor Freight on all new tools, new toolboxes. I spent another $4,000 or $5,000 with Milwaukee on all the power tools I needed. Then I had to figure out a CNC machine and then find a source for material, then get dealer contracts back for some of the brands I used to carry. And you had to go through the LLC process, get insurance. You know, for me to get insurance on the business, I had to go get a physical. And there was a lot to it. And it took a little while, but now I'm fully functioning. I'm still just a one-man show. I've thought about hiring somebody, but that means I have to train somebody. And usually when you train somebody, then they think they can do what you're doing, or they won't be up to par of the work I do. And then they run off somewhere else. My buddy that I work out with, he says the same. He owns a high-end detailing company to where, I mean, like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 detail and ceramic and paint coat and all that stuff. Yeah. So he said the same thing, that he trains people and then they bail because they figure they can do the same thing on their own. Let's see, somebody just asked a question. Somebody said, any Tundra rescues coming back to Shannon? Andy, For those of you that follow me on my other platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you see I've got a new diesel. Not a new one, new to me. It's not here right now because I had to get a new radiator put in. It had a small leak on the radiator, so I took it up to the diesel shop that built my motor. But it'll be ready today. I'm in my daily driver today. I'll show it to you in a second. But I found y'all know how much I love the excursions. Plus, I got 4 kids to haul. Ashley's got a daughter that's 7. I've got my 2 boys that are 10 and 9, and then Blair is 4, and we have a dog. So we went third row SUV shopping because we need a third row. So we went and looked at a new Explorer ST, liked it, it's fast. But I was like, man, let's not do a note. I'm like, I got enough cash put away. Let's find a clean excursion. She didn't even know what an excursion was. She's seen them before. She didn't know what it was. I said, because it's a diesel. It's third row. It's big. It's solid front and rear axles. I can lift it, put big wheels on it. She wasn't into the modifying vehicle thing like I was, but she's all about it now. Like when I told her I was going to get that excursion, we bought it. It took me a while to find one. I mean, it's mint condition inside and out. 0 rust. Body's good and straight. Original paint. It's the Eddie Bauer edition. 2-tone white with the gold. Interior's perfect condition. It was a pawpaw truck. Stock 6.0. I wanted a stock one so I could modify it myself, because I knew that eventually it would need, you know, the studs and all that stuff. I didn't want one that was already bulletproofed, because usually it's done wrong, or it's bullshit, or it's been beat on. Like if you buy a high performance diesel, something that's really turned up, it's turned up for a reason. B-Rad said, good to see you're doing well and back on the track and light. I appreciate it, B-Rad. It was a rough road, man. I'm not going to lie. It almost broke me, but I'm doing pretty well right now. But back to the excursion, it was stock. It had a set of 20-inch wheels on like some 33s. But otherwise, bone stock. Stock exhaust, stock motor, not deleted any of that. So I bought it, and I paid a little bit more than I wanted to. I didn't realize the market on those things had went up since the last time I owned that 7.3 one. Now that blue 7.3 I had, I paid like 12 grand for that, I believe. For those of you that followed along back then, I went to Texas and bought it and drove it home, and then bought a set of 26-inch forged wheels while I was in Texas. And, you know, it just, so all in, I was like under 20 grand in that thing. Well, I paid 25 for this one, stock, but it had 165,000 miles. That blue one had almost over 400,000. That blue one was a 10-footer, if you know what I mean. You get up close on it, had some dings, dents. Interior wasn't that great. Carpet was stained. Had some light surface rust underneath. This one, flawless, top to bottom. That's hard to find, man. So I went ahead and paid it. I tried to negotiate down. I think he was at 30. I got him down to 25, and I waited like a week or two, and then I was like, man, I got 20 cash on me right now. I had 25, but he would not come off of it, and I figured out why. He was a well-to-do doctor. He had bought it brand new back in 05, just to haul his family back and forth to the lake. They'd hook a boat up, go to the lake, come back home. He had a bunch of kids. So, and they did a few road trips and stuff, but he was firm at 25. So I went and bought the damn thing. I'm like, shit, that's a lot of money for a stock 6.0 that I know I got to put more money into. And sure enough, within the first 2 or 3 weeks, I noticed the coolant level was getting low. And I took it to my buddy, and he said, yep, head gaskets. We need to do that. And studs. So he quoted me, it was like $3,500 for new head gaskets and studs, labor and all that. And I was like, let's go ahead and build this sumbitch, man. Like, I love, because it didn't have that sound. Y'all remember my blue truck and then the white King Ranch I had, the 6.0? That jet turbine sound, man. It didn't have that. Stock 6.0 doesn't sound that good. And I was like, let's go ahead and do the damn thing. I said, you know, and I talked to Ashley about it. That was our little money we had put away. You know, our emergency fund. Let me just to say. And she's like, build that sumbitch, man. Like, because I showed her videos of my old one, how it sounded. She's like, yeah, I want to hear that. So spent 15 grand building that motor. You know, O-ringed heads, forged internals, big turbo, big injectors, fuel system, um, uh, upgraded oil pump. I mean, upgraded everything that I could figure out to still keep it daily drivable and be around the 700 horsepower mark. It still has a stock trans. I know that's the next thing to go. And I can get a built trans around 5 or 6 grand, but we're going to wait on that. It's still driving just fine. I don't beat the piss out of it. Every now and then I'll romp on it a little bit, but I go easy. We did a 5-inch lift. Y'all know I like the lower center of gravity. I don't like bad driveline angles. I don't like having to get custom drive shafts made. So I did a basic 5-inch lift. I put 26s and 40s on there. Had to trim the front bumper to clear for turning. Had full clearance. And love the thing. Put the LED creation wheel lights on it. And drove it around for a couple weeks. And, you know, it was awesome being able to load up all the kids and at the same time. And a deal popped up. And y'all know me, man. I say I want to keep something until money starts talking to me. I don't get attached to vehicles. And Ashley was like, do not get rid of that damn thing. And I was like, well, the deal I'm about to make, I can make more money and then buy another Excursion and come out ahead. She was like, I don't understand what you're saying, but you have experience doing this. I said, I bought, sold, and traded more trucks and cars than I can, than even makes sense. And I usually come out ahead. So, for, like, again, for those of you that follow me on other platforms, it was a 99 F350, bagged, full out show truck, inside out, laying frame on 24s, custom paint, custom interior, built motor, just, I mean, custom graphics that were airbrushed even into the door jambs. It's the nicest bagged vehicle I've ever seen in real life. And I wasn't sure because the pictures the guy sent me, and at first he was like, well, how much cash you gonna add? I was like, dude, I really don't even want to get rid of this Excursion, but if you want to make a deal, I said, I know it's hard to move a bag truck. I've had several of them. They're hard to sell. It's a very limited audience that wants those and has the cash, because he had it listed for like $65,000. And I said, that's the kind of truck that somebody has to have the cash for. No bank is going to touch that, nothing. And he said, let me think on it. And he hit me up about a week later. He's like, if you meet me halfway, I'll trade you straight up. I said, deal. And because he liked the fact that I just spent that, because the Excursion itself is only worth 30 on the high end, even with the built motor. The Excursions just don't bring $50,000-$60,000 unless you're getting to the big converted 6.7 or Cummins swaps and all that, these newer ones you see. But I knew that I could make more money off that bag truck. So I made the deal, met the guy halfway. We met in Missouri. He was from whatever state's above Missouri, I don't know. But worked out the deal, made the swap, brought that dually back home. It went straight viral on TikTok. Every video I post, man, was 1 million views. People love the bag trucks for some reason, man. It just got the views. Locally, it was a showstopper. There was nobody else around here with it even close to that caliber of truck. You really got to go check it out. If you hadn't seen it, go look at Beau Knows Customs on TikTok. Scroll through the video and scroll through the videos and you'll see this truck. It's just flawless front to back. Far nicer than anything I've ever owned as far as a custom truck. And I knew in my mind I wasn't keeping this, but I thought I would keep it long enough to go through the summer, enjoy it for the summer and all that stuff. But you know me, I post stuff for sale immediately. I had it for a few days, took some good videos and pictures of it, and posted up. Title in hand, cash money. I think I posted it for $60,000. And everybody wants it, and then they're offering trades that are worth less, and you know I don't do that. If I'm trading, it's got to be a trade up. And I said I'm not hurting to sell it. I really enjoy the thing, so I'm not hurting to get rid of it. And Gabe Farrell, I found out he's like a YouTube superstar or some shit. He hit me up and he's like, "Hey, I want to buy this for my dad. What cash money? What do you got to have?" I said, "Honestly, man, I'd probably take 50 for it." And he's like, "All right, let me think about it." And then he hit me back. He's like, "Dude, I'll give you 40, and then I'll give you some recognition on my YouTube." And I was like, "I don't need all that. I'm not chasing clout, all that stuff. I don't need any recognition on your social media platforms." And so I passed on that. Well, an opportunity came up for a built Mustang that I wanted. It was a 2020 model with big Whipple forged motor, all that stuff. He had like 100 grand in this thing, and he only wanted 45 for it because it's hard to move. I had a fucking parachute on the back and everything. It was a street car, daily driver. I knew that spelled trouble for me because of my past with performance cars, but I wanted it bad. And so I posted up. I said, last minute sale, first come, first serve. I don't want no checks, no money orders, none of that crap. First person to show up with 45 grand cash. I knew that would put me ahead a little bit of what I had invested in I was about 40 grand in the Excursion at this point. So I did the math. 45 would put me a little bit ahead, and I could get that car. And sold in one day. Guy hit me up from Detroit, up in Michigan. He's like, "Hey, I've got the cash. How do I get it?" And I was like, "Okay." He sent me a picture of the cash and everything. I was like, "Shoot," I looked it up. It was a long way, Mississippi to Detroit. He's like, "I can have a transport truck come, but I'd like to have it this weekend," which was like in 3 days. He's like, "What if I give you an extra $3,000 to bring it to me?" I said, "Bet." Like, extra 3 grand. And Ashley had already taken off work. This was for spring break. She had already taken off work for spring break, and she was just gonna, sit around and relax and hang out with me at the shop and catch up. She does all my tax stuff and everything for the business. She's gonna catch up on that. And I was like, "Hey, how do you feel about a road trip?" Because we didn't have any kids that week. Her mama was gonna watch her daughter, and then Christina gets my kids during the week. I get them Friday to Monday. And she was like, "Let's roll." She didn't even ask where we were going. She's like, "I'm down." So I said, "Bet." So I told the guy, "If you send me the 3 grand up front, I'll make the trip." So he PayPal'd me instantly. We made the whole trip on his money. I mean, we stopped at Airbnbs along the way in the mountains and spent a day in Gatlinburg on the way back, and had a whole nice, I'd say we were gone 4 days, 5 days total. Had a good road trip, man. And on his dime. And on the way back, I was hauling an empty trailer on the way back. So, of course, I'm searching Marketplace along the way. You never know what you run across in other Marketplace areas. And then the guy that had my Excursion, he hit me up. He's like, "Hey, you sold my truck, huh?" I was like, "Yep." He's like, "Well, I know the guy that bought it, and he'll take real good care of it." I said, "Yeah." He seemed like he was really excited about it. And he's like, "You want to buy back this Excursion?" I was like, yeah. In my head, I'm like, hell yeah, I want it back, but I don't want to overpay for it, because now he knows what I sold his truck for, and we did an even trade. And I said, "Well, maybe. What do you got to have for it?" And he said, 45,000. He's like, "I know that's what you sold mine for, so let's just make it square." I said, "Dude," I said, "I'd love to have it back, but I'm not paying 45 for it. I'm sorry." I said, "I've got something else at home I'm going to pick up anyway. I appreciate the offer, but nah." So kept on going home, and ended up talking back and forth a few more times, and settled out at 30,000 plus. He delivered it back home, because I'd already made it home by the time I was like, "Man, I'm going to buy something else today." And he's like, "Well, I'll bring it to you for 30 grand. So that's what we did. He brought it all the way back. Gave him 30 cash, kept 15 in the bank, and ended up with the exact same thing. Ended up doing a few more upgrades to it, trans cooler and stuff like that. and then upgraded the wheels again. Now, like I said, it was on 26s and 40s. I was scrolling through Marketplace looking for wheels for my daily driver, and I saw these 30s pop up. American Force 30 by 16s on Fury 42 by 1650s. You know, a set of wheels that cost $20,000. I've always wanted 30s, but I'm never going to pay $20,000. The tires alone are $1,600 a piece. And plus, I was like, I don't even think I can even fit that. I'm on a 5-inch lift. I'm already pushing it with 40 by 1550s. But you know me, cutoff wheel make anything work. So I hit the dude up, and they were Ford lug pattern. The 26s that I had on my Excursion were a Dodge lug pattern and I was running adapters. Well, the guy that had the American Forces, the 30s, he had them on a Dodge with Ford adapters. They were Ford wheels. So I hit him up. I was like, dude, I got some Dodge wheels that'll direct bolt up, and I can throw some cash on top. And I didn't expect them to entertain that because nobody likes downsizing. Because he said right in the description, for sale, no trades, blah, blah, blah. Not looking for other wheels. So I figured he had a set of stocks or something he was going to throw on it. And he's like, well, what do you offer? So I told him, I said, you know, I'll give you $4,000 plus my set of wheels. He said, bet. I was like, shit, I wasn't expecting that. And I was like, fuck, I'm about to have a set of 30s. I never thought I'd have 30s. 30s are big. For those of you that have seen 30s in person, 30 by 16s on a set of 42 by 1650s, that is a chunk of metal and rubber right there, man. We weighed them. They're 208 pounds per corner. They're heavy. They're huge, man. So I went and made the swap. Loaded them in the back of my daily driver truck. Met the guy in Monroe, Louisiana, because he was from, I think, Shreveport or something. And made the swap. Gave him the cash, the wheels, brought them 30s home, polished them up, bolted them on. I had to do some more trimming, but I made it a nice, for those of you who watch my videos and photos and stuff, I trimmed it out pretty nice. And some people give me shit about it, about trimming up a mint condition Excursion. But like I said, I like a lower center of gravity. So I'm on a 5-inch lift running 42s with full lock-to-lock steering. And it just sits down on top of those wheels, man. It's fine. I wish it was here so I could show y'all, but I got to go pick it up this afternoon. But it's a fine ride, man. I love my Excursion. It's fast. It's pretty fast, even on 42s. It's smooth. You can run 85, 90 mile an hour, one finger on the wheel. The tires and wheels are perfectly balanced. I mean, it just worked out very well. The 6.0 screams and sounds like a freaking fighter jet, man. It's the perfect vehicle for me. So this time we're keeping it. I'm not listing it for sale. I'm not listing it for trade. I've got it built the way I want it. Still got some stuff to do. I've got a set of horn blaster train horns we're putting on there. I've got a full audio build. I've got everything I need. I just have to take the 2 weeks I need to do, because I want to build a nice custom fiberglass enclosure in the back. You know, I want to do speakers all along the headliner, front to back, kind of like on a side-by-side. I want to do like 8/8 up above. I've got custom door pods to hold 2/8 and 2 3.5s. I want to do a mean little sound system in there. Not looking for SPL because I'm just running one Fosgate T115 that I've got over here. And then I've got concrete audio pro speakers that are going in my doors and overhead. I've got everything I need. I've got the amplifiers, I've got batteries, I've got all that stuff. I got to get these 2 jobs finished up. Then I'm shutting my doors for 2 weeks and focusing strictly on the Excursion, because I want to have it ready for cruising the coast and scraping the coast and all that stuff. And then plus my buddy TJ with LED Creations, the one that does these lights that I'm working on, I've got white wheel lights on there right now that are insanely bright. His lights are so bright, man. And I hit him up a couple days ago. I said, hey, let's double that up. He's like, what do you mean? I said, I want to be twice as bright as I am right now. He's like, you're already brighter than anybody else with white lights. And if you go look at my TikToks, you'll see the videos. It's insanely bright, especially banging off a set of 30s. Like when you're driving down the road, those 30s are chopping and those wheel lights shine through. When you pull up next to somebody driving down the interstate, it's just like strobing in their face because it's chopping in between each part of the wheel. And he's like, dude, let's do it. So not only are we doubling up, we're 4 timesing up. So I'm using 8 rows per wheel. Right now I got 2. So we're doing 8 rows per wheel, which means I have to run 8 gauge wire to each wheel because these are 24 volt lights. I have to run 8 gauge freaking amplifier wire to each wheel, then distribute off to the strips just to give it enough power. And then I run 80 amp relays. These things draw some current. But I want to be seen. I want it to be known as the brightest underglow setup of any vehicle. And they're not underglow, they're LEDs, and they're just wheel rings, no rock lights. You know me, man. I just go over the top. So he's kind of sponsoring me on that. He's sending me what I need to get the rest of it done at cost. This will be just completely over the top as far as wheel lights go. I want to be, we're going to put a drone up in the air and fly it up about half a mile. You know, we're going to put it way up there and drive down the interstate. I want to look like a spaceship driving down the road. So I think it's going to look pretty cool. And having a set of 30s on there to show it off will really set it apart. But yeah, I've got the new upgraded mirrors. I've got them brand new in the box. They're black. I'm going to paint them to match. I've got the 2015 bumpers. I've already got those. I'm going to paint those that gold color to match and swap out from the 05 bumpers to the 2015. We're doing speakers underneath, speakers in the fender wells. We're going to turn it into a party wagon, man. And yeah. All right, I've been just talking away. I'm probably boring y'all to death, but there's still somehow 17 people on here. But like, how many of y'all are at work right now just listening to me? Because that's what I do a lot of time. I'll listen to podcasts and stuff, not even look at it. Just have my phone put away and listening to the audio. How many of y'all are at work right now working and listening to me talk? Because I bet it's a few of y'all. And I'm fixing to show y'all my daily driver. All right, my daily driver. It was a truck I didn't think I would. Crazy says he's at the gym. I got to go at 11. So what time is it now? I can't see because of my phone. Andy said LOL. But y'all know I've had a lot of half-ton trucks. I've had a lot of 3/4-ton trucks. I've had a lot of 1-ton trucks. Scarface, what's up, butter? Said, hope all is well, but life's good, man. But my half-ton trucks, I've had the nicest of the nicest. I've had a High Country with a 6.2 Silverado. I've had a Raptor with the 3.5 EcoBoost. You know, I've had some nice half-ton trucks, but they always slack in some department. Either they can't tow well, transmission gets hot, suspension's too soft or too hard. The High Country I had for a year. That's one of the longest trucks I've had. Went through 2 transmissions in a year. Just daily drive. I never even towed. Yeah, I towed my side-by-side a few times, but most of the time it was just trips back and forth to Texas. The 6.2 was a great motor. It didn't do very well on gas, but it was a good motor. And it, but the transmission was just shit, that 8-speed transmission, man. And, plus, the interior was dated. You know, it was a 2018, I think I remember. And it looked like a 2012. Had the little screen and no rear climate control. You know, for a high-end truck like that, you figure it would have a little more. Because you go to a 2018 F-150 Platinum, you know, it's got the bigger screen. It's got rear climate control, rear heated seats. It's got the power steps from the factory. You know, I just felt like Chevy was slacking on the interiors, and now the newer Chevys are nice. I've seen the new ones. All new trucks are nice. You get any of the big brands that are new now, even a Tundra or a new Titan, new F-150, Silverado, new Ram, they're all pretty much on par with each other. They kind of got all the bugs worked out. They're all quick. They all get decent gas mileage. The interiors are all nice. It all comes just down to preference now, man. Y'all know me. I'm not brand biased. I love me some Fords, especially the diesels, but I'm not brand biased. So I went, at the time, I had a 2024 Mustang GT a couple months ago. Bought it brand new off the showroom floor. It was kind of a spur of the moment purchase. It was slow because it was stock, and I've had not stock stuff. So Ashley drove it almost every day. I had to teach her how to drive a stick shift, and she drove it to work almost every day. And I drove her truck. She had a Ram 1500 with a Hemi, a 22 model. And I was like, you know what? And plus, my insurance was kind of high because of my past record. I was like, let's get rid of the Mustang and let's just get another truck because I need a truck for work, and I don't like having to use your truck every day. So we went and looked at a Ram Limited Mega Cab 2500. It was like a 2018 or 19 model, I believe, maybe a 2020 because it had the new big screen and the new headlights and stuff. It was a pretty good deal, but the bank said it was too many miles. It was like 140,000, something like that. I was like, well, shit. And this dealer that I work with, I really like them. They were offering me way more money for my Mustang than they should have because they wanted my business. I went up there at first to look at they had a new Bronco, 4-door, the big Bronco with the EcoBoost and stuff in it. And it was sitting on some 26s. And I was like, man, I saw it with the top off one day. And I was like, all right, I kind of want that. I went and test drove it, and I didn't like it, man. It was slow. It was rougher than a Jeep. And it was slow. Like, it just getting up to highway speeds, I wasn't. It was like the bigger EcoBoost, too. And it rode like crap because it was on those 26s. And I didn't like it. And especially because they wanted like 60 grand for it. I'm like, man, for 60 grand, I can get a nice Alumaduty for that. And so that's why I decided to try and get that Cummins. And that didn't work out. And they were like, well, we've already got you pre-approved. Let's figure out what you want. And I said, they had a TRX up there, the Hellcat Ram, but it was like $90,000. I'm like, man, I do not need a $2,000 truck note. And I almost got it. And I'm like, man, I don't need that, man. So I talked myself out of it. And I'm like, I'll get in trouble in that thing. I've already got a built diesel that's fun to drive, the Excursion. I don't need a fast truck as well, because I'm just going to get in trouble or tear it up or, I don't have a lot of self-control when it comes to fast vehicles. I like to think I do in my head, but even that Mustang, man, almost every day I'd do 100 plus for no reason. I mean, I'd be like, look, there's 7 cars in front of me. I can pass them all. And sure enough, I dropped a second and redline that sumbitch, and next thing you know, I'm doing 130. I'm like, why? Why am I doing this? I'm not in a rush. Like, if I get pulled over, I'm going to jail, and it's going to fuck up everything good I have going in my life. I just don't have the self-control that I try to force myself to have. And I'm not too man to admit that. That's why I don't own a street bike. I love street bikes. I almost bought another Hayabusa this past year, a turbo Hayabusa. And I'm like, okay, I can use that, go out cruising Friday nights, and next thing you know, I'm doing 200 plus for no reason. I got kids and stuff, man. It's just not worth the risk to me. So he was like, man, what do you think about this truck? He's like, I got a 2021 Ram 1500 EcoDiesel Limited. I said, fucking EcoDiesel. So I Googled it and did some research. Well, the 2020 and older, the first gen EcoDiesel had a ton of problems. Like a ton. Like, people were blowing motors left and right. But the 2021 and up was a new generation. And I did like 2 or 3 hours worth of research. Just Google. I said, let me think about it before I even went and looked at it. And it's getting phenomenal results on this new EcoDiesel. Like, nobody's having problems. It gets 28 miles per gallon. A 4-wheel drive crew cab half-ton truck. 28 miles per gallon. I said, I don't know if I believe that, man. It's still, I don't care how good it is on the motor. It's still a half-ton 4-wheel drive crew cab truck. It's shaped like a brick. And so I went up and test drove it. Loved it immediately. I took it on a test. It's smooth. It's quiet. It's powerful. The interior it's a limited, so the interior is real nice. You know, it's got the big screen in there. I had to get used to that vertical screen because I'm used to the wide sideways screens, but the vertical screen, it's 2 cards is what they call it. So the top card will be on your CarPlay, and the bottom you can do for climate control, audio, or whatever. Anyway, I bought the thing, and I've had it for, let's say, 2 months now, maybe a little longer. Best truck I've ever owned as far as a daily drivable, functioning, tows when you need. Like, we loaded up that bag dually on my buddy Chris's trailer, 28-foot trailer, and put that big ass dually on there and hauled it to Detroit. And I said, this is where we're going to test it. We got 17 miles per gallon loaded with a fucking dually on there, and it never even blinked twice. Like, it went up the mountain passes. You couldn't set the cruise control with it loaded because it kept wanting to downshift, but if you just feather the throttle, you know, when you're going up a hill, just roll in the throttle a little bit, get it in the boost, and it'll stay in overdrive. Stayed in 8th gear almost the whole way, pulled it no problem. It's got the level air ride system front and rear, so you can raise it up like 4 or 5 inches manually, front and rear, or lower it down like -2 inches below stock. And so it auto leveled the whole way. It wasn't squatting, and super comfortable. Heated and cooled seats. The limited seats are super comfortable. Me and Ashley made that trip there and back. No complaints. There were some time, I mean, I was getting 500 something gallons per tank, and never, you know, sometimes you get out of a truck after driving 7-8 hours, your back's hurting and all this. That truck is so comfortable, man. And let's see, Scarface said, did it struggle any? Not at all, man. I'm telling you, I've got some videos where I was towing with the load behind me. I showed it in my mirror, and we're running 85 miles an hour. I mean, I wasn't running 55, 60 down the interstate. We were running 80, 85, and never struggled. That Eco Diesel has blown my mind, and we're about, because it's just now turning 100,000 miles on it, where I'm going to go ahead and delete and tune it. I think it's like $3 grand for the full package, delete and tune. I've watched some review videos. They say it turns into a whole nother truck. It makes it faster, smoother, good gas mileage, and it gives you that diesel noise that, because I listened to some sound clips. Look up Ram Eco Diesel delete and tune sound. And of course, it doesn't sound anything like my 6.0 or even like a deleted 6.7, but it sounds really good. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm trying to cut back on spending money right now. I've been spending too much and not bringing in enough. And I've been kind of using Ashley as a crutch because Ashley makes really good money. But that's not what a man's supposed to do. So I'm trying to avoid spending more money right now. But yeah, eventually we're going to delete and tune it. But I'll show it to you real quick. But it just looks like a pawpaw truck, nothing special. Yeah, man, so Ram Limited Eco Diesel 3.0. It's dirty in here because of this dirty sucker rides with me every day. Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, you see where he sits on the damn console. I'm so bad with my vehicles. Big screen. No sunroof, which is perfect. I hate freaking sunroofs. It's got all weather techs in there. The seats slide out and back. So that way, let's see if it'll do it while I'm holding. So yeah, it'll give you a little bit of, see the difference? Hang on. So yeah, it'll give a little bit of room, and there's plenty of room for adults in the back seat. My truck is so dirty. One of my favorite features that I didn't know if I'd like are the Ram boxes, because you do lose bed space, but you're only losing the space that would be normally fender wells. So you still got a full width where you can fit a sheet of plywood or whatever in there. So I really don't mind, because I mean, I don't use the space that's over my fender wells. I don't like that it doesn't have a bed step. Why every company doesn't do just like Ford and have a fold-out bed step, I don't understand. I guess it's a patent issue or something. But and as you can see on the tag, Beaupar. So I always got to have something quirky. But yeah, these Ram boxes are absolutely amazing. Tons of space. I've got junk in mine. Outlets back here. Oh, I've got some Smirnoff. What all do I have in here? A couple hats, umbrellas, some old ass hot fries. But these are completely weatherproof, and I mean they're big, man. And I mean, ton of space. It makes it easier just being able to walk up to your truck and put stuff in here instead of in the back of the truck. And they lock with the doors, so you don't have to come and manually lock them. If you lock your doors, it locks your Ram boxes. But I'm a huge fan of these. It's probably my favorite feature on any truck I've ever had. You know, keep spare hoodies, the kids' crap, keep a toe strap in there, ratchet straps. Yeah, I love those things. But yeah, it's a very nice truck. I'm not a fan of the pawpaw wheels, but it's whatever. But it's a perfect daily driver, man. I can't think of a better daily driving truck that I've ever owned. And that's speaking from experience. So I'm not feeding you a bunch of BS because I'm a Mopar, no car type guy, or Ford Tough, or L5P. Like, I'm not. People that are diehard brand people, man, you're so stupid. These companies are not paying for your loyalty. They're not giving you anything for free. Yeah, my daddy had a Ford 6.4 when I was in high school and it died. So I hate Fords. Fuck Ford. You're so stupid. Quit being stupid. Like, that's so dumb. Like, I've never been brand biased. A lot of people think I was a diehard Ford guy because I had the viral video pulling out Tundra. I like Tundras. I even went and looked at a Tundra. I like the new Tundras. But I've been hearing some bad things about their new twin turbo V6 or whatever. So I avoided the Tundra. I looked at a half-ton Cummins Titan. I liked them, but not as much as this truck. So Brian said, "How far have you made on that moonshine?" We're out. We're down to like 2 jars, maybe 3. We went to Gatlinburg. For those of y'all that don't follow me on other social media platforms, went to Gatlinburg. And for those of you that have been there, on the main strip, there's a bunch of testing places: wine, moonshine. Let's see, because there's a bunch of distilleries there. You got whiskey. You got what's the other stuff called? Stuff that we bought. I'll think about it in a minute. But yeah, so me and Ashley, we're there with no kids. We did some testing, and we got a little lit up on the trip, and we ended up buying a bunch of stuff. The hell is that other stuff called? It's not a seltzer. It's a. It came in a wine bottle. It's gonna bother me now that I can't think of what it is. Not a brand, but like a type of alcohol. Yeah, we got wine. We got like 6 bottles of wine because you buy 4, get 2 free or whatever, and then 6 bottles of. It's pissing me off now. Anyway, we got 6 bottles of something else, and then we went to the moonshine place, which is a huge like superstore, and we did all the testing. And we were gonna buy, probably 6 bottles of that, take home, and they were like, "Hey, if you buy 6, you get a free bag cooler. If you buy 12, you get a free shoulder cooler or some shit, or like a rolling cooler. Well, if you buy $400 worth of moonshine, you get a free wagon, like one of those little folding wagons." Well, we're like a mile and a half away from the truck, and we still got to go back. But yeah, cider. That's it, Andy. We got 6 bottles of cider, and so now we've got to go a mile and a half back to the truck, and still stop and pick up our 6 bottles of cider and 6 bottles of wine. I was like, we got to have that wagon, man. So we spent $400 on moonshine. We loaded that sucker. It was probably 20 bottles or 30 bottles of moonshine. And we're walking around. They even had us a little concierge guy with a wagon walking around, pick out what you want. And we look like some freaking alcoholics, man. We're loading up a freaking wagon that I also use to go to my kids' baseball games, and it says moonshine on the side. But I had to have that wagon because we had a long walk. So we spent all that money, and we justified it too. We're like, well, at least now we don't have to buy alcohol for a while. I was like, yeah, you're right. Like we're saving money. And we're almost out. I just cracked the top on a bottle of moonshine when I get home. We got a pool table in the garage, and me and Ashley are pretty much on par with each other. So we are competitive against each other shooting pool. And sit there and sip on some moonshine at nighttime, and it's almost gone. So it's really good to drink just straight out the bottle. And I didn't get like the white lightning. I like flavored stuff. So I got the flavored stuff, and but yeah, we're almost out of all that shit. So, all right, I've been on here an hour, man. I think that's long enough for today. I hope y'all enjoyed me hopping on here and filling y'all in on my boring ass life. Nothing crazy. And I do appreciate the ones of y'all that like to see that my life isn't chaos anymore. I know some people were on here just purely for the chaos, but I really do appreciate it. I get on here and give y'all updates for the guys that have stuck with me, I guess going on 6 years now, since, yeah, I mean, we've been through a lot. I say together, I haven't met 99% of y'all in real life, but I feel like when your name pops up, I know who you are. I remember a lot of y'all having my back through rough times. A lot of y'all have helped me out of financial problems when I was on the side of the road and couldn't put gas in my vehicle. You know, I couldn't eat. I was really struggling at one point, and I had somebody help me pay for McDonald's because I didn't have anything. I don't forget stuff like that, man. I don't forget stuff like that. So that's why I still give you all these updates. I'm kind of a little bit more protective with my personal life now, and I don't let social media boost my head up anymore. I used to let it think that it made me somebody better than who I am, and oh man, I'm a semi-famous guy and people know me, and I used to try and put on a show for y'all, and it wasn't the real me, man, and I was going through a lot. I just want to let y'all know life is going good now. I can't ask for anything better, honestly, right now, man. It's just going that well. Of course, we always want more, man. We always want more money. We always want more material things. I learned none of that shit matters, man. When I lost everything, all my material stuff, all my money, gone. When I lost all that, I realized what was far, far more important, and that's family and good friends, man. I've got several friends now that are friends, but my best friend that stuck with me through it all, Chris Moore, man, I couldn't have done it without you, bro. He doesn't even watch my YouTube videos because he thinks it's stupid anyway. He saw how social media fucked up my life a couple years ago, and he's always told me straight when I'm going down the wrong path. And he's always told me, man, do not let that shit get to you. Focus on your family, you know, especially my 3 kids. You know, they depend on me, man. They look up to me in every aspect of life. You know, my boys want to be just like me when they grow up. And, you know, and then when you have a little girl, you want her, when the day comes that she finds somebody, I want to be the type of man that I would approve of her being with. You know, when you have a daughter, it changes your perspective on women, or at least for me it did. You know, I treat Ashley the same way that I would want another man treating my daughter someday. So, yeah, because I mean, eventually, yes, of course, Daddy's here forever. I don't want her to ever have a man, but I know it's going to be inevitable at some point. She's going to be in a relationship. And do I hope it's the first one is the right one? Of course. But more than likely, she's going to have her heart broken a few times. My boys are going to go through it too. You know, they're good looking boys. They're gonna have their little hearts broken at some point too. And I just want them to know that they can always talk to daddy. You know, I don't ever want to mess up that relationship. I want them to know that daddy is here all the time, 24/7, no matter what, good or bad. So anyway, I didn't plan on getting emotional with you guys, but when I get to talking about what's important in life, that's what I'm talking about. You know, like my excursion and all that shit. Yeah, y'all know I like having fancy shit. It could all disappear in an hour, and I would give two shits less. You know, money doesn't mean anything to me. Cars don't mean anything to me. It's all about family and friends, man. It's you know, I've made things right with a lot of my family members over the past year. My mother, my sister. I'm working on rebuilding things with my brother. You know, a lot of things that are important to me now, I didn't realize what I was missing. So, yeah, that's my advice to everybody, man. Make as much money as you can. Money brings security. People can say what they want about money, how it doesn't buy happiness, whatever. Money brings security, man. If you got a good bit of money put away, it makes life easier, man. Make as much as you can, you know, but don't let it take away from your life at home. Don't let it ruin a marriage. Don't let it ruin your relationship with your kids. Don't let money get in the way of friendships. I've lost some good friends over money issues before. But build up as much as you can, man. It buys security. It buys a future for your kids. And I mean, it's just, I hate that that's what makes the world go round, but it really does. And make as much as you can, but don't let it take away from your family time. I don't work on weekends at all anymore. There are times I need to when I'm getting behind. And yeah, I could come up here and put in a Saturday or Sunday, but that's my time with my kids, man. I mean, we go camping, we go fishing, we go down to the beach, we go all over the place. We go out on the boat. I mean, our weekends, we're never at home, man. I'm limited on time with my kids now. I used to have them 7 days a week. Now I've only got them 3 nights a week. You know, so I want every moment to count. And you know, I never miss a sporting event now. I never miss a practice or a game or a school event. I don't regret leaving Texas at all. I'm making less money now, but I'm here for everything, man. And some people might be able to deal with it differently than me, but I don't miss anything anymore. And that's more important to me. So, Good Vibes said, I didn't always agree with you, Beau, but I've been watching you for a while and you've grown a lot, man. Cheers to your new life. Keep up the hard work. It always pays off. I appreciate that, Good Vibe. I didn't always agree with me either, man. Looking back at some of my decisions, I've made bad decisions. And I saw where somebody else said on here they learned from my path of life. And I'm glad, man. I hope that people learn from my mistakes. And I hope they see the past that I took that they don't need to. It's the same way I try to teach my kids, man. Reed, my oldest boy, he's such a good-hearted kid, but he's so bad, man. And I can just see him going down a wrong path like I did. I was pure hell from his age till I was probably in my mid-30s. I was pure hell, man. Nonstop. Did 6 years in prison, you know, probation in 5 different states and, you know, having to pay out the ass for attorneys and restitution. I was so bad, man. And I pray every night that he does not end up like me. So I'm doing everything I can to try and teach him how it can go bad. And it can go bad very fast. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll do another live at some point. I'll introduce y'all to Ashley. She's not big on the public thing like I am, so I try to respect that. But maybe I can get her on here one night just to introduce her to y'all, let y'all talk to her for a minute. Like I said, she doesn't do the, she's very low key, and that's what I like about her. But she knows my life is a lot more public, and she doesn't complain about that. So I'm gonna try and get her on here and introduce y'all. Look at this lazy ass dog. That's all he does all day. He just lays out, acts like he's guarding something. He ain't guarding shit. But anyway, we'll holler at y'all later, man. It's 70 minutes on here. I got to get some work done. I got to go to the gym. I didn't mean to spend this long on here and not get any work done. So we'll holler at y'all later.